Hello and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Dr. Alison Chiwara. I am the CEO and founder of Human Focus Limited, a company that is dedicated to creating healthier and happier workforces and workplaces. So today I'm going to talk about success and comfort. Well, those two don't coexist, do they? Mostly not. So we're going to explore a provocative thought, if you allow me, the dichotomy between success and comfort, and why discomfort might just be your unseen ally, backed by the lens of neuroscience, with insights from business leaders and highlighting the resilience in public figures. So let's start with a quote from one of my, the most iconic entrepreneurs of our time, Elon Musk. Well, he once said, being an entrepreneur is like eating glass and staring it into the abyss of death. Hyperbolic, perhaps, but it drives home an essential truth about success. It's not nestled in the warm embrace of comfort. I don't believe that most of the time, but at some point it will. But as we start off, I think it's important to be really vulnerable about the truths of entrepreneurship. So neuroscience actually tells us that our brains are hardwired to seek out ease and a phenomenon known as the comfort zone, so we call it. Yet in this zone, our neuroplasticity, our brain's ability to adapt and grow and learn new things is less stimulated actually. So in order to create new neural pathways, we must seek challenges and change. And comfort can be the enemy of progress. Someone once said, or rather my mother or some granny of mine, they said comfort can be the enemy of progress. When we are actually comfortable, one thing that I know is we're likely operating on autopilot. When you know a road so well, you're not really looking for anything new. You know it so well. You're not really alert to new things that may happen along the way. You're autopiloting throughout. And it's the same with the brain's default networking, humming along conservatively, when we are in our comfort zone. Well, success, however, lives on the edge of our comfort zones, where the brain's silence network is activated, helping us to detect and mostly respond to important external events and internal cognitions, like I said earlier. Otherwise, when we're in autopilot, we're not noticing things, we're not really seeking new. So we need to change or live on the edge of our comfort zones. Now, add resilience to the mix. This gets interesting. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back, as we all think. It's really about growing stronger in the face of adversity. Challenging our comfort is how we can build that resilience. It's actually a muscle that strengthens only when tested, right? It's a muscle that strengthens only when exercised, I would say. So consider the journey of J.K. Rowling, which I won't bore you too much about. But she faced so many rejections, personal trials, and financial woes before the world ever knew her. Before Harry Potter was a thing. It was actually her resilience in the face of these discomforts that truly fueled her incredible success. Her story actually teaches us that the path to achieving what we desire or what we wish for is often paved with challenges that seem insurmountable, and sometimes that seem like we're never going to cross over to the other side of the road. The cars keep coming. It's a highway. It's busy. Just when you think there's an opening, something else comes. Then there's obviously the amazing Oprah Winfrey, who overcame a childhood of hardship and abuse to become one of the most influential public figures in the world. So she often credits actually her trials for teaching her the resilience and required for success, which is very ironic. So in her words, actually, she says, turn your wounds into wisdom. I never understood it until I started going through an entrepreneurial journey. I was like, oh, I get it now. So she says, turn your wounds into wisdom. And it's these trials, rather than breaking her, she says they armed her with the strength and determination needed to triumph. So again, these public figures, sort of give us examples of key truths in that success is more about tenacity and the ability to actually endure discomfort that is about natural than it is really, well, maybe more so than it is about natural talent, intelligence, is that ability to persevere, that resilience that we are all speaking about a lot, which then creates great businesses and lives are built upon this. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, I'm sure I read something along the lines of he was rejected from dozens of jobs, including a fast food chain. Can you believe it? Before he actually founded what is now, arguably the world's largest e-commerce platform globally. He believes that, in his own words, that if you don't give up, you still have a chance. Giving up is the greatest failure, he says. So then we go back to that. You fall 7 times, you get up 8 times. It's that sort of mentality. So while comfort may feel like a safe harbor, but it is the sea of uncertainty and challenges where the ship of success learns to sail, actually. So we need to think differently. We need to have a growth mindset that sees hardships as opportunities, that sees hindrances as just doors that need to be broken down. And the neuroscience that we all talk about here, Human Focus, supports this. The stories of countless leaders and public figures that I kind of mentioned earlier echo it. So we have great examples of the comfort and success not necessarily going hand in hand initially, but at some point it will. But in order to build to that level of success, you need to really work hard for it. You need to turn your wounds into wisdom, like Oprah said. And you really need to have the heart to take rejections, personal trials, and all of the things like J.K. Rowling went through. And challenging our comfort is how we actually build resilience, like I said earlier. So we have to embrace discomfort to an extent, for it is the wrestling with life's challenges that our resilience is formed and our true potential often is realized. And so I would say that from me, now is the time for us to step out of our comfort zones and into our success stories. So once again, thank you for listening. From me to you, from Human Focus Limited to your organization, to your household, and to you, it's goodbye for now.